Hello, hi all. So it's 5:30. Maybe we'll give one more minute and then we'll begin with the session. Okay, so I see it's 5:31. So let us begin with the session. I'm seeing Hari. Hi, Hari. Okay, great. So whoever possible, please turn on your videos. So again, welcome all to the triple S of our sessions, right? Triple S, Simple Spiritual Sundays. So this year beginning, we have begun, right? So every Sunday, it's almost, close to 30 sessions, I would say. And it is going great, right? So every week we introduce a new speaker and we get whatever possible wisdom from them. So as you see, we have named this program as Infinity, right? So one of the biggest hindrance in spirituality, you all know, that is I and me. So I have done, because of me, my family is running, my job is running. I have done so and so. That's the reason, right? So I is the biggest hindrance and the ego. So reason why, if you really, look into the spelling, right? So we have taken off all the I's and replaced that with number one. So just to give the commonness that, we all are one. Ultimately, the bodies might differ, color, creed, caste, and region, but ultimately the super consciousness which we all carry is same, right? So with that note, I think let us begin today's session. May I hand it over to Hari to take it forward?
Thank you so much, Manoj. Once again, welcome everyone for one more amazing Sunday with another amazing speaker. I'm Hari from Melbourne, Australia, founder of Bridge Universe. So I would be, you might have, many of you might have already seen me on this platform already, as I do host quite a few speakers as well, and collaborating with this wonderful event. So, hello, Preeti ji. Welcome to the program. So, I would like to take a small opportunity to introduce you first before we begin. So, to everyone. So today our speaker is Dr. Preeti Kohli, BHMS homeopathic physician, transformational coach, and co-founder at the AHA Movement. She has been consulting homeopathic physician for over 21 years and a transformational coach for over 13 years. And Dr. Preeti currently serves as one of the founding members of and also the director at the AHA Movement and the trainer at the Quantum Life University, which also our beloved Dr. Newton and Lakshmi Newton. Through her work, she has touched thousands of lives and has successfully conducted over 200 workshops in alternative healing therapies. She was introduced to meditation and mindfulness at the age of 15. Her keen interest in understanding the body mind soul connection and helping people grow holistically led her towards learning and practicing other root cause therapies like past life regression, inner child healing, rebirthing breath work, family constellation, life between life regression, and one of her passions is to work with parents and kids. She also volunteers to teach meditation to children at schools through the Soul Science Foundation. In short, she is the master of modalities, as I can see, mastered many dimensions of spirituality, and we are so fortunate to have her on this amazing event today. This is the formal intro, but on a lighter note, ma'am, do you have any sleek memory of seeing me before?
Absolutely. We visited your house. There's no, chance
Thank
of
you.
memory. I still remember the sambar we had at your place.
Yeah, wow.
The best sambar in the world that I've had to date. So
I am surprised. that you could remember, because when one of the organizers, Sharma, sent your name, that immediately I could recall you and Ganesh sir, and then visiting our home,
Yeah.
the paths cross together.
Absolutely.
There is every reason why we meet once. So, and then here, yet again on this amazing platform, I have this great privilege to be able to interact with you after so many years. It was 2019 February.
Yes.
I remember when you all visited our house along with Newton sir. Such an amazing session that day as well, and
Yes.
very glad to meet you and Ganesh sir back then.
I,
I thought you won't remember. Probably I thought of quizzing you, saying that, do you have any sleek memory? But you remember the sambar that you had. So
yeah.
it's
Absolutely. I have deep admiration for the work also that you are doing, Hari. Just being abroad and the kind of circle that you have built and the kind of sanghas that you're doing there. So, of course, I remember with a lot of gratitude when we came there, we could experience the same essence there also. So, thank you so much, Hari.
thank Thank you so much, man. So with that, so this program is a simple, informal session. I would say a heartful talk with a wonderful meditation to start with, and then we'll interact on various topics, and then I would try to explore you and your work rather than it's one way. We'll keep it interactive. So, having said that, we can do for 30 minutes of meditation. If you can guide us into meditation, we'll
Sure,
do 30-minute meditation followed by a short talk. Okay.
sure, sure.
Thank you so much.
Is it okay if I play some music?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And what
You,
I'll do is, later I realized that this was falling on the day of Guru Purnima.
yes,
So
absolutely.
I will start with some music with Guru Purnima and then Guru Purnima mantra.
Absolutely. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, friends, I'm assuming all of us have meditated before, but just in case somebody is new, what we are going to be doing is just sit in a relaxed posture. You can clasp your fingers in your lap, you can cross your legs, and just in a very simple posture, relatively straight back. And just close our eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. I heard these two lines from a poem which said our mother teaches us how to walk, but our guru shows us where to walk. So as we take these minutes to meditate, let us start with remembering our guru. Deep gratitude for the presence of the guru in our lives is the best gift. Watch your natural incoming breath, outgoing breath. As you feel this gratitude for your guru, as you remember the guru. the one who brought this gift of meditation into your life. And now, the one who introduced you to the breath, your own breath, which is again your master. A breath which connects our body, mind, and the soul. Helps us to be connected to truth. Be with your breath. Your breath, which is the bridge between your body, your mind, and the spirit, the soul, or the true self. A deep, complete presence of your breath. A mind is like a monkey which constantly is taking us the past or the future. Your breath is the anchor. The next 25 minutes, you're going to be anchored with your breath. Anchored in the moment to what is. Our closed eyes, we explore the depths within our own self. The most gross level, at the outside level, we are the body. And as you're watching your breath, You're watching the sensations that the breath is creating. Watching any other sensations that may be there in the body. And while you're watching, notice the body sensations are there. And an aspect of you is watching. Who am I? Who is this part which is watching? As you start noticing this, let your awareness start unfolding within. Through the bridge of the breath, you're taking a journey, you're going with me. All that you have to do is to be with the breath. Do not let yourself get attached to the outside things. Let yourself lose the awareness of the body now. Going with me. Present in the now with your breath. Know your breath. Know yourself. Riding the wave of the breath. Let your breath take you into deep states of silence. Exhale. Meditation is the process and the journey of knowing your true self. With whatever is happening within you. Allow yourself to just feel this witness and aware of your inner world. Your mind is taking you here and there. Thoughts come. Can you also just watch them like you just watch clouds in the empty sky? And bring your attention back to your breath. Do not let yourself drift away with the thought, with the cloud. Our true nature is like the empty sky. Allow yourself to enter those depths, moving into that emptiness within, that empty sky within. There is a saying, sitting still, doing nothing, spring comes. The grass grows by itself. Just be there with your breath, not doing anything, not even thinking, just being. A deep presence, a deep awareness of the current moment, the present moment, as you just be with your breath. Trust your own experience. Be with what you are feeling and stay with it. the energy that we receive during meditation. If that gives you sensations in any parts of the body, just staying still, just being a watcher. Buddha says, the silence within is full of answers. Quantum science says, emptiness is full of potential. Be there in the silence within. Linger in the emptiness within. Meditating together, especially on a full moon, is a beautiful blessing that we are all having. Feel the energies of the full moon. As the beautiful energies are coming onto you just like a shower. full moon time is a beautiful time for introspection and to let go of all that may not be serving. Our ways of walking, thinking, being. Just like the ocean has heightened, the beach has high tides. The full moon brings out our emotions, brings to surface. Allow yourself to also witness now from this state of witnessing. Let yourself become aware of anything that may have been coming into your awareness a lot, bothering you in your outside world in the last 4 5 days. From this light within, let yourself throw light on that area of your life. It's just watching it on the inner screen, being with your breath as we spend time for the last 5 minutes in this silence. Allow the insights to arrive. The last 3 minutes, being with your breath. Integrating the insights that we have. Last one. Last 15 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one, and zero. Slowly you can rub your palms together, cover your eyes. Wonderful friends, welcome back.
I hope everyone opened their eyes. That was a very, very amazing meditation. I think it's also a privilege to be able to interact with you on this auspicious day and do this meditation on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima. Ma'am.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Alrighty. So once again, welcome. We'll start the show. I'm calling it a show because we tend to drive this like a show a bit, talk show, to explore the speaker, to explore the guest who comes to this platform. So having said that, probably I'll start with my first question to you, that how did this journey into spirituality start in your life? Where did it all? What's that aha moment for you?
I think, Hari, the environment was already having it. My parents have joined also today here. And
Oh,
yeah, in fact, what happened was that my father got into meditation before he got married. He was a disciple of Osho. And so the environment at home was already there. He used to also organize meditation camps where we were staying in our colony. And so as children, I remember, going and dancing there. Of course, that time it was not so much of meditation. But after my 10th, so I think probably in the 9th, 10th, I started, having this desire to go to the ashram also with him because he used to go very often. And after 10th standard, during the holidays, I went there very often. So that is also the time that I took Diksha. And that is where meditating every day started after my 10th standard. That is when I was 15. But what I obviously was told later by my parents was that when my mom was pregnant with me, every day they used to put a talk of Osho. And my mother used to, they used to sit together and they used to hear that. So I think, when I have been on this journey, I kind of remember that voice as being in the womb with that vibration. That is what was also there. So that is where meditation started regularly. And then, for some reason, I wanted to be a doctor. And then again, being in the medical college also. And during that time, there was no Google, there was nothing, right? I was enjoying meditation. I did not know the benefits of meditation. Now, Patriji talks a lot about the spiritual science, but that time it was not so much the scientific thing, but I was obviously enjoying it. And what I started realizing was that when you would meditate, obviously you would enjoy the study also more, and you also needed lesser sleep. So I continued, that is something that then also helped me in my during the student days. So the whole practice continued from there.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. Like growing up with Osho is what I could say.
Yeah.
One of my most favorite masters. And then pranams to your parents, and glad, sir, that you know with whatever that has been the environment that you have provided, we could have a great master sharing this amazing wisdom to all of us. So special thanks to you both. Probably on Guru Purnima it is special for you because they were your first gurus.
Yeah,
I could
absolutely,
say.
absolutely,
Right, Preeti?
absolutely. So it's a
That's
surprise
great.
for me also that they've joined.
Everything happens at the right time. So that's beautiful. So I could relate a lot with you how meditation naturally enters into someone where there is a role, because it's more or less similar to me where meditation entered so naturally with me, having an environment around. Um, have you so you naturally entered into this spiritual path. Is there any time where it naturally slipped away as well in your life, or was it always part of your life from your childhood till now?
So I think during the college days, probably there would be some days where, some periods where it would slip away. And during the exam time, that's when I realized that, when I would start meditating, that's when I actually realized the benefit of it, because not doing it and then coming to it,
Hmm.
right? And then you see, oh yeah, you don't need as much sleep. And because being in the hostel, sharing the room with people, it was not so regular some of the times. And I think what kind of also then strengthened it in me, Hari, was, I mean, of course, this was the good period, but at another point when there was certain situations which kind of shook me. There was a death in the family. My one of my Mausajis, he passed away, and I could, like how that affected the family. And also, what happened is that when we went there for, just after his death, that is the time that in this is in Gurgaon, my father was attacked by some people. He was driving a car, so they kind of attacked him and they took away the car. And obviously, my father was very shocked at that point of time also, that because he didn't realize what was really happening. But I think the way that that night that situation happened, it kind of suddenly brought this thing to my awareness that nothing is permanent. I mean, we take sometimes life so much for granted, that relationships for granted, and things could just change overnight. Things could just end anytime. Our father also, right from childhood, had also, whenever we would do any mistake or whenever something would happen, he always would say, okay, let's, take some time and let's see what is that we can learn from this. So I think that kind of introspection, with that, strengthened my thirst for it. So, just that was the point where after which I felt like anything else is secondary. This is the most important thing for me. And that's where after which it has not slept. So this is back in 2001, I think.
Oh, beautiful. That's great. So it started with Osho, and when did it come into other spaces? Like, who else entered after Osho into your life, like Patriji, Newton, and I don't know who else.
Yeah.
So,
So I was meditating after that. I was attending some meditation camps. And at that point in time, through my father only, it was another couple who were disciples of Osho. Till 2009, I was attending with them. But during that period, past life concept had entered into my life. In meditations, there are visuals of past life that started coming. And then I got to know about a therapist here close by. And when I went to her, the first process that she did for me was meeting many, the guides that you have. So that's where I kind of see the number of guides. Some people, most people I had already met in my life, and there was this one more person, being of light, like a person, but surrounded with all light, and there was no face. So this was back in 2005. And in 2009, I had one very significant meditation experience during a meditation camp that I was attending. 15 days I'd gone for it. After which, Hari, I realized that there are certain things that kind of started opening up. Like now when I look back, what we call as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, it's like the light just came and you started becoming aware of other things that you need to go and explore. And the past life session that I had gone for, she was a student of Dr. Newton, and she told me that, it'll be good for you to be a therapist also. So that time I was not ready. She said, whenever you feel ready, go to Dr. Newton. So in 2009, I looked up for Dr. Newton. And the moment I saw their picture, I said, oh, I know them from before. So in 2009, the first course of past life regression, he does the 6-day training workshop, and the 2 days before that. So that's what I went for. And Patriji, I met probably in 2012, I think, 12 or 13. My sister also had taken then a jump. She followed me and she started coming to Dr. Newton. And then at that point in time, Shreyans was looking at making a center in Mumbai. My sister, being a software engineer and a trainer, she wanted to take a jump. She wanted to also come into this more. So she had given up her job and she was looking at doing something else. And that's when she met Shreyans, and she was instrumental in bringing to life the Center Awaken, which was there in Mumbai. And that's where, for the inauguration of it, Patriji was invited. So my introduction to Patriji was through Dr. Newton and, the circle from here. And that's where my first interaction with him.
Beautiful. Excellent. So past life has taken you to Newton, and then eventually Patriji, and then the new dimensions have definitely opened up, I guess.
Yes.
So were you into this field of medicine from, like, is that what that you always wanted to aspire, and then what made you choose this homeopathic in the path of career? And probably if it is a prolonged question, how do you fit spirituality into the this homeopathic therapy?
Right. So, Hari, I don't know why. From the childhood, I said I want to be a doctor. Okay. And my father, he, having explored modern medicine, he did not really, he had certain side effects. And then they saw benefits of homeopathy and Ayurveda. So I, from childhood, was given homeopathy. There was homeopathy at home. And when it came to really choosing a profession, I wanted to be a doctor, and I said, when I don't take allopathy, how would I give something, that to somebody? So for me, naturally, it just felt, the pull towards homeopathy. So though my father was also inclined towards Ayurveda, I was more pulled towards homeopathy. And now that I kind of look back, I think it was meant to be. Now, the way that we take a case history in homeopathy, I was introduced to the most amazing teachers. So the best of the homeopaths who are teachers of the way that we are practicing now were in our college. And the way that the history taking, like, when I'm sitting with a patient, like I'm probably giving 2 or 3 hours, and it's actually a journey of going within. So from the conscious of whatever would be happening, they're really going within. And what was very beautifully happening, Hari, was that we were able to witness that there is a conflict within. This illness is a representation, is a manifestation of certain conflicts. And so most of the time, of course, the patient was not aware of it, but we were able to see it as a doctor. And that really started, giving me so much joy when we were able to understand somebody at the depths of it. And then, of course, because I was into meditation, this introspection, this questioning, that what is the connection of this, right? What is the meditation connection? And of course, because I was meditating, right? I was still kind of seeing other people having the illnesses. So this question kind of remained. And Dr. Newton's book, Consciousness Heals, I think was the first book where the way that he's explained the role of the emotions and how those emotions, the emotional issues not dealt with, how it also comes to the body and when something is happening with the body. Because earlier when I was in meditation, many times, I think probably not paying attention to the body, like somewhere it was, how do you relate to the body? Okay, you are not the body, but how do you relate to the body when there is an illness? How do you understand that? So that element I started understanding from really, Dr. Newton was the introduction, and of course, then other books kind of opened up that whole arena. So that is what started giving me more joy. And as you were talking about you were reading from the introduction. Now I really enjoy doing, when a person is wanting to understand rather than just me understanding and the patient not understanding, that obviously doesn't give you as much joy. But when the person wants to participate in their own healing journey, that is something that really gives so much joy when we are able to empower them.
Oh, that's really interesting on how you have how you're seeing uh, medicine, and then how you have approached the science into spirituality slowly for the patient. So that's really amazing. So if I may ask, like you have been practicing so many modalities or encouraging so many modalities like breath work, inner child, past life regression, and all of them. So how do you see it, meditation versus just the normal meditation versus these modalities? Why do you think one needs these modalities along with meditation?
Beautiful question, Hari. Thank you for asking that. And I think because I was pulled into it, right? I have kind of understood it so much deeply. Now, when we are when we are meditating, we are connecting to the light. Whereas there are areas of our lives where there is darkness, which we are not aware of, which is in the unconscious, right? And many times we tend to bypass that. And the issues that are coming when we say we create our reality, right? Where is that reality being also created from? Because a lot of the conflicts, a lot of the stuff in the unconscious is also affecting our life. When we have a relationship issue, when we have issues around health, around finances, wherever that we may have issues, that also we need to look within. What is our perception about it? What is it that's happening for us? So I can share with you how I got pulled into it, right? Because I was not knowing. For me, I was feeling very good in meditation. Till a particular point, I did not really feel the need to go into it too much, apart from a couple of sessions, which just helped me understand certain things. But as I kind of look back, Hari, my parents actually lost two kids before me. Okay, so first, the child that they had was a stillborn, and then they lost a child after 25 days of being born. Now, what the reason why I was pulled into it, because of course I was feeling peace, but I was feeling a disconnect also with life. There was a part of me which kind of didn't want to really also be here. And then now I have observed in so many people where they also use meditation as an escape. There is no peace outside, there is no peace in the relationship, so I'll find peace within, right? Now, of course, we'll find peace within, but the outside world is also a reflection of the inner world. So I realized that, of course, the blessings of Osho were there, the voice of him, that vibration was there, but there was also a lot of pain that was very deep in the unconscious, which I was completely not aware of. So through the processes that Dr. Newton, earlier I was attending, even the smaller other workshops when he would come to Mumbai. Through those workshops, the understanding then started coming that why was I also pulled towards this? What in our scriptures, when we say chitta vritti nirodha, right? Now, how do you get rid of those vrittis that are there in our chitta, in our unconscious? So that if something happened in the childhood or something happened when you were in the womb, now what is the way? Because sometimes, of course, to a certain level, things happen just by themselves in the meditation, but a lot of them does not happen. And as I've been doing a lot of research, especially when there is something, like this, when there is something traumatic that has happened, what they are also recognizing is that what helps is somebody holding the space. Like in your meditation, when you're doing things by yourself, but versus when you are with a master who knows how to hold that space for you, it's so much more helpful to do that. So that is when I felt the need of it. So for the last 10 years, we of course do sanghas at home. Right, every Thursday we have a sangha where all of us meditate. So that is the primary practice. Nothing obviously happens without that, right? But felt also the need of these other things where when other people are having issues in their lives, how do they actually kind of really get out of that, which provide the space for throwing light onto that, the dark areas of your life.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. Absolutely. When we are stuck, especially at some place, I always have seen that these modalities help, release the locks
Absolutely.
much quicker. So that's a beautiful way of putting it together. So, and when you said sangha, let's. I love the way that you have highlighted the aha in the end in the sangha. So please tell us about aha movement. What is it, and when did it start? How did it start?
So AHA was started in 2017. And Ganesh, my husband, is the one who kind of had this idea. He, being an entrepreneur, he's into education. So, if you remember when he came to you, so he said, I'm retiring. He went to Dr. Newton with me. So, by the way, firstly, he was extremely scared of past life. When we got married, it was an arranged marriage. And, he said he loved that I was very calm. He felt very attracted to the fact that there was calmness. But then I said, yes, you'll get the calmness when you meditate. And he said, there's so much to do. I mean, are you kidding me? Like half an hour sit and do nothing. But then I took him to a meditation camp. After 3 years, he agreed to come. That's where he started meditating. And after which, when I went to past life, he said, oh my God, now this is a new thing that you're going into. There's enough in this life, right? Why do you want to go and explore this past? So he was very resistant to it. But I think one or two times when I was just talking about Dr. Newton, something that I spoke about Dr. Newton just stuck with him that, so that's when he agreed to come for Inner Child in 2013. This is the time that he was just retiring. It was on his birthday. And what happened is that Dr. Newton told him there's nothing like retirement, anybody can be peaceful going up in the mountain. You have to be in the world and you have to practice this there. So he was influenced. He had already given up what he was already doing, but certain new things that he started then, he, went back into education and he was doing a lot of philanthropic work. Now, what he had done was because he had exited certain things and he still had his share, but actually things started growing. And his work, now when he went back in a new way, started really growing. So a lot of people were now coming to him, how did you do this? They wanted mentorship. And that is when he thought of actually creating the AHA movement. So he said, because, the wisdom that now we are learning from Dr. Newton, which is applying the spirituality into your real life. Right? One is you just meditate, but actually, how are you applying that into every area of your life, your work, your relationships, everything. So that's when he said that, let's create something where we actually bring this. So that's when we founded the AHA movement. The organization, so our organization, of course, has grown, the education. So I conduct meditation there. So the day that I'm going, for everybody, there is meditation. We have a practice of having meditation music go on in the office 3 times a day. So for 3 to 5 minutes. And, not everybody may want to meditate, but at least everybody becomes silent. So a lot of people are very happy meditating. Some people just become silent and respect that. But that environment, slowly actually consciously started seeping in into the entire organization. And that is when also we spoke with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, because this work was so important. And they used to come to Mumbai just once or twice a year before that. So they then suggested that we could do the workshop. They empowered us to conduct the 2-day workshops. So all our workshops, the AHA movement is doing. Basically, there is no profit. Everything goes to Quantum Life University. It goes towards the creation of the university. But we really kind of started sharing this wisdom. So typically every 1 or 2 months, we have workshops in Mumbai where inner child, past life, all of these modalities that I mentioned, apart from every week, the meditation that we all do together.
That's really, really wonderful. So the movement itself, the name itself is very vibrant. I mean, as soon as I heard of it and have seen, it's very vibrant. So, is it you who introduced spirituality to Ganesh, sir, or was
Yes,
he?
meditation I introduced. His way of spirituality before that. He used to go to satsangs with his mother as a child.
Yeah,
They used to have this Ram Sharanam satsang. So as a child, he has been going there. But meditation is something that was
yeah,
introduced through me. And
that's amazing.
uh,
When life meets spirituality, you both, the way that you both are working and then giving this back as a purpose is really amazing. And on this occasion, I thank you both as gurus as well, who's imparting this knowledge to everyone. Lots of gratitude.
thank you, Ari.
So
I think when you receive so much, really, it's, if you
exactly,
can't, I mean, you just look for ways to pass it on, right?
absolutely, absolutely. So in this journey, if you summarize this your life's journey till now, um, are there any, what you say, the very significant moments that you could recollect and then share, like, this is something really a milestone or a couple of milestones in your life, which could help our uh, audience.
So I think a lot of them I already kind of shared with you.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
Probably the introduction of meditation, right? When I first started going to the ashram, I think the vibe there, it's almost like, people couldn't believe me as a teenager. Like, people write in their scrapbooks, what is your favorite place? And when I would look at all those questions, my favorite place was the ashram, and your favorite dress, and that was the robe. So I think I used to so look forward to just going there because the energy there was just so beautiful. You could just feel the energy of the master at that point in time. Also, even though physically he was not there, Hari, when I was
Mm,
going there after my 10th standard, when I started going there, right? So, of
mm.
course, my parents have met him as a child when I was much younger,
Yeah.
but when I was going there, even though his physical presence was not there, so that was one of the key, the pull when you actually meet a master, you actually taste that there is something of the beyond here, the energy
Yeah.
there. So that obviously meeting Dr. Newton, meeting Patriji, that's what really
You feel that.
you're attracted to.
Exactly.
That was one of the milestones, of course. And the other I already shared with that incident, somewhere in a
Yeah.
way, very shocking, like a shock to me, but at the same time, how that kind of, there was life before that and after that, it was different in a sense. And then, of course, meeting also Dr. Newton,
Yeah.
that was another thing. And the milestone in 2009, after which, that it's like the subconscious just started opening up after
Mm,
that, where that's when I was pulled towards Dr. Newton. So these
mm,
were some of the milestones I would say. And then, of course, now it's just, every day is beautiful. So now I think, I kind of remember those from the past, but now it's more like just a flow.
Mm,
And
mm. Oh, absolutely. So the aha moment, as part of your movement, s- is it just the modalities, or is there any specific, um, uh, what you say, your motto or vision where you want to see aha moment? Is is it something that you could share about the vision of aha?
so, Hari, we really want this to really go to all the parents and the teachers. As I mentioned, that Ganesh is into education, and now the philanthropic work that he's doing, IC3 is the work that, they're bringing also counseling in every school. So that is something that he was doing on the side. But AHA movement is also kind of supporting that. So they're training counselors, and every year there are cohorts that they're training. Every cohort has about 150, 200, sometimes more counselors, teachers, principals. And what I am, the way that we are supporting is that we are also bringing meditation to them. There is a mindfulness curriculum that we have designed, which we do for them. So 6 sessions that through that period of the training that they are doing, and
Mm,
once they start meditating, of course, then it can go to the children. So that is a vision that we really have. We really want this to go. Earlier we went to so many schools where, they would allow one session, you teach meditation. But then we realized that so many times, if when the parent and the teachers are not meditating, it's not actually coming into the culture of it. It's not coming, the environment is not really coming.
yeah.
So that is something that we are very, very keen on. So, of course, some of the workshops that we also conducted during the lockdown, it was much easier because parents were at home. We did conscious parenting workshops also, but really teaching meditation to them, and how kind of that would really help their interactions. So, in
Mm,
the teachers being in the classrooms with them, how this wisdom can actually, how the mindfulness can start coming there also. So
yeah.
that is also something that is a keen interest.
Now, this is a very important aspect, I would say, like, meditation for kids and also the parenting aspect
Absolutely.
uh, of it, because I do see in this digital age and a fast moving society and culture everywhere. Um, Even in, I can't say anymore, it's just down west, because India is being westernized. I would say, like, it is moving as fast as west, as I observe these days. So um, everywhere across the globe, it is extremely important. Uh, can you just throw some light on uh, first question? I'll ask two questions at a time, even if you want to combine. So one is, why importance of meditation for kids? Why? And number two, throw some light on the conscious parenting program and what you do and why it is important, because through this platform I would like to send this message that these are extremely important for everyone. So yeah, these are my two questions: why kids should meditate, why it is a, I don't, probably I'm just calling it out, it's not just, it's not a choice, it's a must in this society, it's a need. And
Absolutely.
then why it is need, and then two, even in parenting, how spirituality works and what's conscious parenting at a.
Yeah. So, of course, kids, right? Now, right from the time that the child is born, the attention is outside, right? And now, especially, it's getting even more challenging because most kids are really not in nature, right? Especially like you take cities like ours, right? Where they are constantly interacting with people and then otherwise in the devices. So there is no time where they are being. And of course, they are getting more and more disconnected with the inner world. And we obviously start feeling, that outside is affecting me. When the children start meditating, and they are just so good, some of the workshops also, I remember once when we had gone for GFSS, and there we did a workshop for the kids on the side when they come. right? Now, kids are just so open. The moment they start connecting, they start connecting to the Buddha within. And it's such a beautiful, it's completely a different paradigm when they start knowing that you are not really, the outside only is not affecting you, but your inside also affects outside. When you're connecting to the essence within, the power within, you get all the answers, and you can really start kind of, being a different way. So situations of when there are exams or when there are stress situations, and of course the love and the compassion that starts coming in them is even is so evident, right? So definitely, especially in this time and age when they're not spending so much time in nature. Otherwise, as kids, if probably when we were not already meditating, when were those special moments? They were moments in nature. But now hardly kids are really getting that. So much they're more with the devices. So the meditation is so much more important now for the kids, right? And secondly, when you said parenting, right? In parenting, one of the obvious main thing is that the child is already a divine being, right? One of the principles is that when the child is born actually as a divine being, and adults have become adulterated. And typically, the parenting is, we are trying to make the child a particular way. We are trying to teach the child as if the child doesn't know and we know, right? Whereas because this child has already come from those realms fresh, right? Divine, pure, the child actually is a mirror. So in conscious parenting, we understand this concept of mirroring. Now, if the child is actually throwing tantrums, the child is just kind of distracted, angry, okay, and that's affecting you, that's bothering you. What we do is we ask the parent, what is your fear? How is it affecting you? What's bothering you? And when they actually start seeing within, they start realizing that actually the child is mirroring them an aspect of themselves. And this mirroring aspect works even when the child has become an adult. Now, you don't like something about your son who is 25 years old, but what is actually bothering, you about this child? When you start seeing what is your worst fear about it, okay? And that worst fear, it's actually something within you which is being mirrored there. So classically, when people have two kids, many times they see that one child may be just like them. Now, if you are somebody who's been very, very hardworking, like you've neglected your health, now this child you see and you just get so concerned about this child because now she's in the medical field, but she's just not taking care of her health. She's burning herself out. And your concern about her is actually she's a mirror of you. And how much ever you tell this child to do it, she will not listen to you, right? But what you need to do is when you work on yourself, when you see what is that mirror, and when you start changing that, that is when this starts changing. And usually the other child probably maybe a disowned part of you, something that you are disowning. That child may be that. So our kids typically trigger those elements in us which we need to work on. So we always say, we don't have to work on children. We have to work on ourselves, taking them as mirrors. We have to hold that compassionate space for them. But we have to really work on our own selves.
So this is really wonderful. I mean, it's not just releases or improve the way that we parent the child. It is also about us as parents unlocking ourselves. Like because I hear a lot of these questions from many parents that why some son or daughter is not listening to me or throwing these teenage tantrums or you know but the key is within us to tune them is something that is really fascinating about this and thanks so much for and it aligns with your vision which is a perfect need for the society, need of the hour, I would say, like conscious parenting and kids. So that's an amazing work, I would say. With that, before we get into Q&As, um, any final message to our audience from your side?
I think everybody here is already on the path, and just it's amazing that everybody is following Patriji's and Dr. Newton's, way of being. What they kind of say is like Dr. Newton, when he empowered us to teach, and he said, ABC, you teach ABC.
Yeah.
So really, always keep learning. Seeing Patriji, seeing Dr. Newton, they are eternal students. They constantly keep updating themselves and constantly keep sharing. So I think that is, really the message for everybody. Just keep not wasting your time, not, like always making sure that you're using your time in the best way and sharing the wisdom that you have received.
Absolutely.
By the way, Hari, also one more thing now that AHA movement is doing, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi have empowered us to actually take their work also, to arrange their workshops also outside of QLU. So I know a lot of people who, were not able to go there, but just we are going to be also arranging for their workshops. We, in the last 3-4 years, we've attended other workshops. We went to Dr. Joe Dispenza and, seeing 2,000 people there, right? And we said, we have such masters here,
Yes.
right? And we really need that wisdom to really also go out there. So we want to take them also out of there. And so one of the things that we are very happy doing, when you said any, message, if anybody would like to bring their work to your city also, you can connect with us. We are happy to see if we can arrange for a workshop there.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And I really enjoyed this so much. And then glad our paths crossed. I mean, it's a pleasant surprise. Hopefully, there is some purpose to it for now to be able to connect with you, and then let's see what uncovers, and we'll be in touch. So, any questions from audience? Anyone has any?
So you may chat your question if you have. Thank you, Hari.
Yeah.
Thank you actually for the wonderful interaction, right? So it was great. I mean, those questions were great. And ma'am, Preeti ma'am, absolutely bang. Yeah. So maybe, before any question comes up, maybe one basic question from my end, because you are a doctor and also, I mean, so many alternate therapies you look into, right? So one basic question is how do you define disease as? Maybe on physical body and mental body or emotional body, and how much part of this disease is actually carried from past lives, and how much from present life. So maybe just to throw some light on those parts.
That's wonderful, Raghav. Thank you for sharing. So by the way, disease, of course, we all know this is something that we are uncomfortable with, right? And that, of course, we usually talk about in the physical, but also in the mental, right? So at physical, mental, emotional levels, every level, when there is something which is bothering us so much, which does not let us enjoy the flow of life, not let us be with and enjoy what we are. Now, the reason why I was also pulled into this, one thing I forgot to mention during my journey was I got hypothyroid, and I got it in 2006. And that was something I was like, oh my God, I'm already meditating. So it was a shock for me that how did this happen? Now, later, of course, I realized that there was some triggering situation that time which I was not so aware of. So, of course, being in meditation, it's not like you go really up and down too much. But what later Dr. Newton mentioned, he said it's a spiritual illness, right? Meaning something from the past life, some pattern that was there. And this situation just kind of had triggered that. So, a past life, there was certain pattern that I had to become aware of, and that illness was triggered because of that. So of course this illness that was there is kind of a teacher, showed me that many times we don't realize that we are we are working with certain conditionings, and I had to really work on that. So this was an example of how many times the disease is a part of, it could be coming from the childhood. And definitely, one of the things which we see so commonly is doing inner child work is something that really helps most illnesses. So a lot of autoimmune problems, because as kids, our parents are like gods for us, right? And as the psychologists say that before the age of 6 years, the script is already formed. Now, later, you may kind of even fight your parents as a teenager, but till that time, if certain needs are not met with, which could be emotional needs, right? Their presence is really not there. Um, you start actually making your needs wrong, because for you they're gods, right? So they are of course doing the best, and somewhere a conflict starts coming in the child. Somewhere the unmet needs start creating voids within us. So inner child is something that we see very, very helpful for anybody having any problems. So definitely looking into the deeper aspect of our childhood, which is in the unconscious or subconscious, and also past lives, really helps with a lot of illnesses. So to answer your question, Raghav, of course, every person when we are interacting, there are certain people I would really recommend to attend this. Of course, a lot of other people would not really be ready, right? They are not, or it just feels like just starting to meditate will start also helping them. So depending on when they're sharing about the illness, where does it feel like it's coming from? That's where we are able to guide.
Yeah,
Great,
that's good.
thank you. Wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
I also see one question in the chat, ma'am. So how to overcome the fear of past lives? So there are times I stop meditating with this fear as I see some images while meditating.
Okay. Thank you, Pavitra ji. Thank you for that question. Now, the fact that it is coming for you, the past lives images are coming for you, and the fact that fear is coming shows very likely that there are certain traumatic lives. There are certain things, and even if we actually don't look at it, those lives may be still affecting your life. So, in this kind of a case, I would highly recommend that you do a one-on-one session with a trained person, okay, who knows, who's trained how to navigate through the trauma. Many times, so Raghavji also asked about physical illness. I'll just share a case study. This was a very intense, one of my first case studies. This person who came to me, she used to have very severe pain during her periods, to the extent that she used to faint during her periods. No medicine would help, only if at all she could take injections sometime, but otherwise she would faint. And when she came to me, she saw a past life where first she gave birth to a girl child who had a slight defect. And her in laws, this was back in Rajasthan, killed that girl child. And every time she would get pregnant, the father in law would actually abort, inserting a metal rod. And so that was the trauma that she was carrying. And when she was in the session, when she came to me specifically for past life. And when she actually experienced that, she would relive that trauma. Now, and 2 sessions of that, because she could not also forgive in the first session. So, firstly, reliving that, and then the forgiveness aspect. And after which, her periods became like any other normal day for her. So, sometimes we've all as souls, of course, have had traumatic lifetimes. We've probably died of some calamity, natural calamity, or some war, or a murder, or a suicide accident, right? So now when that kind of traumatic thing is there, it feels too scary to actually go there by yourself, right? So somebody that you can trust, somebody who holds that space, so that you can actually go through that and navigate through that area, is going to be very, very helpful. So it'll actually help you in your meditation practice also. It'll help you overcome that, deepen the meditation practice, and also let go of whatever maybe be carried from that life.
Yeah,
Great,
that's
thank you. Yeah, so I also see one more question. Can you please explain your perspective on bipolar?
Thank you. So, Prasanti ji, all of us, of course, we are not one personality, right? We are within us, there are so many sub personalities, right? In one situation, we are a particular way, in another situation, another part may come out, right? If you have to deal with difficult officials, you're going to be dealing with in a different way. Whereas if you are now in a meditation setting or when you're with your spouse, you're going to be different. So all of us, of course, have many aspects within us. But when any of these, when they become much severe, any of the mental illness is where the disturbance becomes too much or the split becomes too much. So in a bipolar, of course, where it's almost like a split is there. Many times there are aspects which are disowned within us, which kind of start acting. So whether it is bipolar or then other some kind of extremes like a schizophrenia, there are aspects which we are denying. In our conditioning, in our society, there are so many things we glorify certain things, we say certain things are very good and certain things are bad. So a lot of aspects are suppressed. I'll give you a case study. This is not exactly a diagnosed bipolar, but she was brought to me. She tried committing suicide and she was brought to me by her parents, and they also said that she gets possessed. When she gets possessed, she starts throwing things and she starts, behaving in ways, giving very bad words. When she did a session with me, she was in the trance state. What came up was that the parents always had this thing of you have to be a good girl. Now, if you're being calm, if you're being nice, very well natured, then you're a good girl. Now, being angry was a bad girl, right? Now, so what would happen is she was try to be this good girl, but in situations of stress, that stuff that is suppressed would just suddenly come out. It would be like an explosion. And what she realized was that it was the disowned self which was coming out like that. So many times, a lot of disowned aspects really start kind of showing in that.
Beautiful.
Great,
The
thank you.
answer.
Yeah. I also see a raised hand here. Kavita, if someone can unmute, please. Yes, Kavita.
So, Preeti, thank you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing all your wisdom.
Thank you, sir.
As you were sharing, yeah. As you were sharing about thyroid, I know in my case, like 2 days back, 3 days back, I just normally went for a blood test, and I was feeling low, and that is like normal checkup. And 2 days back, I got this report of thyroid. So if I say like 10 months back, it was absolutely normal. But I know the reasons, like suppression and all. So now I know the reason, how to work on it.
Right. So when you see the reason, right, you need to probably also kind of see how that reason, why that, where is it coming from? Okay. And how would you be different? Like, how can you change it? Okay. Usually, the change does not happen just at a conscious level. Our body is our unconscious mind. So when we have an illness, it is actually the coming from the unconscious. Actually, the body is showing to us that something that we have been thinking and doing is not really working. It's not right. When I share about myself, I would always put others' needs above mine, right?
Mm,
Because I was in meditation, it's almost like I was understanding, I am calm, it's okay, I don't get it. So I would always kind of, be very empathetic, always putting the other's need over mine. And kind of when it went to a level which was obviously, and like I said, there was a trigger situation from outside, but that is what kind of started triggering that. Now, this putting the need, my need, others need above mine, why was it coming? So the exploration, the understanding deeper actually took me into inner child, because right from the childhood, right, as I mentioned that whatever situations my parents were going through in the womb, I almost sensed as if because obviously there was a lot of pain. A part of my mother was numb, right?
Mhm.
Having lost two children, of course, she had conceived me, but she was, and a part of me said, "Oh, it's okay. I don't need. It's okay. I'm fine. I'll take care of myself." Right? Now, this is
Yeah.
a very subconscious thought a child thinks, okay, I'll deal with it in this way. But actually, the child can't. Your needs cannot be met by you. So, actually, looking into that, where was it coming from? And the change has to be happening there. So, when I did inner child work, in inner child work, when we look deeper, when we become aware of it, we do the reparenting. It's like now I need to start changing it there because just here, so you can actually, when you're saying I understand it, just see if you're able to change it by yourself, right? That, okay, if this is what is, if this is the unhealthy pattern, what would be the healthy pattern? How would it be? And if you're able to turn it around just with meditation, that is beautiful. But if you're not able to, if it actually starts taking you deeper, and as I mentioned with Pavitra's question, sometimes, things are, there is pain and we need help. We need somebody to hold that space for us. So in
Right.
that case, you can take help.
So if nobody's there and if like we have to do it by ourselves, I met you, I think, I mean, I know I met you a couple of times in Quantum Life University and probably in Inner Child Workshop.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes, yes. Uh, if you allow me, I would love to talk to you and later, maybe after this session or any.
Absolutely, Kavita.
Thank you so much.
Sharma ji has my number. He can just share it with you, Kavita. That'll be
Sure,
great.
sure. Thank you
We'll
Thank
so
do
much.
that,
you.
ma'am. Yeah,
I also see somebody has asked for some books on
that's
the
right. Yeah.
side. Thich Nhat Hanh has written a book, Reclaiming Your Inner Child. His book is wonderful, Thich Nhat Hanh, and also a deeper work by John Bradshaw. So this book is much deeper work on inner child, which is Homecoming. When I say deeper, it'll actually take you into a journey, and you'll be able to probably get in touch with certain memories also. So if you're interested in also doing that, Homecoming is a beautiful book. John Bradshaw is an amazing master, done some amazing work on inner child. A lot of his videos are also there on YouTube. So if you'd like to also just, go through those videos, that will start also giving you an understanding. And as you're kind of listening to that, things also kind of start surfacing.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
You.
So we
Thank
will
you.
put across these names, right, in our group chat as well. So you can, pick up from there the YouTube links also.
Yes, yes,
Great.
definitely. Thank you
So
so
maybe
much.
at
Thank you
top
so
of the
much.
hour, but I mean before leaving, right? Because now Osho is one of the inspirations, and we all know, right? He's the grandmaster who really near born, neither did. He had just visited here to share his wisdom, right? So maybe from your life experience and teachings of Osho, right? One or two teachings or sayings, right, which really inspire you or always, in time of maybe down, it really helps you. Can if you can share.
Hmm. Wow. I think there are so many of his talks and his stories. Uh, some of his work, some of his talks, I think probably the introduction to past life was probably through him. When I would hear him talk about Buddha and how Buddha would take everybody into past life. But some of his talks are really inspiration and something that has stayed with me. One of the stories I will share, if that's okay. Uh,
Absolutely.
he's talking about Buddha's times when there was a elephant, and this elephant used to be the main elephant for the king when the king would go on wars. But now this elephant had become very old, and once this elephant is crossing the river, and this elephant just falls down, and it's not very stable. It falls down, and then this elephant is not able to pick himself up. And they're everybody's gathering there trying to help, but obviously who can help really an elephant? He's so heavy. How can you really help him? Now this was in the morning, and it was almost like coming towards sunset, and they were worrying what will happen if this elephant is not able to get up. Now, what they do is they call the Mahavat, the one who used to ride him. They said he's the one who knows this elephant the most. So the word had reached him. They called him that please come. And what he did is he said the the drums that are played for the war. He asked, bring those drums. And they started really playing those drums. And like this, the elephant just got up and he walked out of the river. And Buddha's many disciples were there. They were watching this. And they go back, and the next day they tell Buddha about this, that this is what happened. And Osho says that Buddha told his disciples, take inspiration from this elephant. He had fallen, and what happened was that in Hindi he says Sangram Neri, the drums which kind of came on, the warrior within him actually awakened, that the strength, the inner strength that came up in him actually made him get up. He was not able to do that since morning. Of course, he was tired by evening, but that inner strength really took him and got him out of that. And Buddha says, just like this elephant, all of you are also in patterns. You're stuck in them, and you can really come out of that. So really beat those drums within you, really take that inspiration from the elephant and really push yourself and have that dedication in meditation. So this has been one of the stories which I really, really like. And many of such stories. So this series is called Esthamo Sanantano. It's in Hindi and one of my most favorite series. And many of such stories, Osho, just with one of these stories, he's, almost a 1.5 hour talk, and so much meaning, in everything, how Buddha would actually, from every event that was happening around, he would give that teaching to his disciples, and how then now Osho has taken those stories of Buddha's times that have been given and taking these stories, how he's actually sharing that wisdom is just beautiful. And they kind of just stay with me and really help me.
Great, great. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, one of the greatest storytellers, right, Osho? I would accept. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think just recently, Dr. Newton was also kind of just saying that, he's one of the courageous masters who actually spoke about this deconditioning, who said in the ashram, now I kind of recollect that people used to walk with those teddy bears, child work was happening, and there was a lot of deconditioning work that was happening. So of course it's, he was a courageous master who said, yes, there is stuff that we have repressed and we need to look at it.
At one point of my life and our lives, we read nothing but Osho. I mean, once he enters, right, he won't leave. He's like a magic. So he
Wow.
pulls you there. So I used to feel at some point like, as soon as I open the book, he comes, sits in front of me with a chair and start taking a class or start taking this, with a stick continuously throw my pre-programmed mindset and then crack it. And when I try to again program by something that he said, like in next line, he again trashes that as well on his own. It's like keep breaking the walls for some months. It's like a inner work that has happened with me with these Osho books. Like keep breaking the walls, keep breaking the walls until I have totally broken all the walls that I could think of. So
That's true.
that's
Yeah.
One thing that you said, Hari, just now, once he enters, he won't leave. And I'm
exactly.
going to share a secret here today that I've never told to anybody. So, like I said, that Ganesh was not into meditation, and initially his image of Osho was he was scared, because of all the things that he had heard. But so he was like, okay, I see something nice in this girl in the family, but Osho, and so he was a little skeptical. And his car, like we used to obviously have one car at that point in time, and he used to have his other music, and I would have my Osho CD. So whenever those are times where there was no iPod and nothing
Yeah.
else. Now, whenever I was traveling, I used to put a Osho CD. And then what I would do is sometimes I would just let it be there and not change it. So the next time what happened is he would play, and once or twice what happened is he played it, and I said, "Oh, my CD is there," and he said, "It's okay, let it play." And then he just heard it, and then from there he kind of got hooked onto it, and that's how the meditation kind of came. So yes, he
Yeah.
has ways of really kind of getting.
It's a magic. It's like
Absolutely.
even today, if there is an Osho book lying there in the bookshelf, somehow first, I go to that, at least read few pages before going to another book. That's how addictive he is. So yeah, glad.
Yeah. So he's one master, right? He will not really give you standard operating procedures, but he will make sure that you go through, you question yourself and walk the path. Actually, yeah,
So true. So true.
great. So
That's
yeah.
beautiful. I like his standard operating procedures.
Exactly.
So I think we passed 10 minutes now. So great, wonderful session and interaction. So thank you, Preeti ma'am, for taking time and sharing all the wisdom. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Hari.
Sharma ji.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
Hari,
you
for
so
great
much.
questions and taking time. So I
Thank
also like to thank PMC Channel English and IFSS and Omega Pyramid from Dallas for supporting and sponsoring this program, right? And thank you all the masters who are working from back end. So yeah, next Sunday we'll catch up again with a great master and wisdom sharing. So have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks all.